asked for it specifically in the forums.
I'll give a shout out to the English community.
Do that, please.
All right.
Well done. Ramos banned already. While we've been talking here, M5 don't want to have that strong ganker. And there's the Karthus ban. Alex playing a very, very strong Karthus. I think he was the Karthus on your clip, actually, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's obviously the targeted that tactic we just talked about. They want to take Karthus straight out of there, so it's kind of expected. Shaco being banned out. We did actually just see Shaco in the last game, so interesting that one's been targeted. So whether Dignitas had something planned up their sleeve with that one. When I was watching them practicing earlier, I don't believe I actually saw any Shacos played. So
we saw Lee Sin actually. We saw I will dominate warm up on a Lee Sin.
Well, the thing is, we talk about Moscow 5 obviously trying these strange tactics, but that's what Dignitas were known for.
Yeah, exactly.
And while we might be looking at something out of the ordinary for Moscow 5, we've got to keep our eye out for Dignitas. And of course, it used to be Talon, Akali, combo were deadly, because once they get on someone, they're going to die. They're going to pop them. They've got fast gap changes.
There's the Kassadin ban.
Yeah, and this is a pretty regular occurrence. We saw Ocelot allowed it yesterday twice, and he went 13-1-10 and 8-0-6 or something crazy
ridiculous.
Like that. So it's kind of obviously had to be taken out there. And same as Skarner. Skarner's been one of the top junglers, obviously Lee Sin up there as well. But Ramos has been a very strong jungler as well, and again he was banned out. So really targeting the junglers. Cassiopeia being taken out, and Alex immediately locking in Ryze there. So it's going to be Ryze probably in the mid, which is an interesting call, because a lot of people don't actually go for the AP to start with. They like to leave it to the end. It can get countered.
Right, but it's hard to counter Ryze.
It is hard to counter,
what you do, because he is this sustaining damage. He's not like this sudden burst. He gets in your face and he does damage. He's actually a good counter to Kassadin, I heard as well from the teams. And Skara is kind of known for his Ryze. Like his Ryze and Katarina were the two champions that he made a big
yes.
Man.
And this is
Morgana is open. Well,
the thing is, Kennen is very big in the US scene at the moment. A lot of people, certainly the American players, consider him to be completely overpowered.
Yeah.
In fact, I recall seeing Dyrus had a vlog about it, basically saying that really, he is the strongest in the game. There's not really many counters to him.
Yeah.
And immediately, Dignitas obviously going straight for it. Lee Sin as well. So we're going to get to see I Will Dominate on Lee Sin. He's pretty well known for it. But here we go. We're going to get Nunu support with Cogmore down the bottom. And Cogmore, interestingly, is what a lot of people have said, actually he needs an entire team built around him. Well, we may well get that. Certainly with the support of Nunu is going to help. And with Zingosu Pepper and Nunu, it's fantastic.
I think we may need to remake this game, because somebody just logged into my account, locked me out, or I'll have to cast it off your screen.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but let's talk about the picks that are going on a little bit
Anyway,
more.
Graves has been now being picked up, so we'll see what happens with that one. I was intrigued how they managed to get your password. I guess it's one of the spectators probably picked the wrong one.
Guys,
yeah. Whoops.
Yep.
You do have a name next to your login, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
I Will Dominate at the moment is, well, he's going to be on Lee Sin, we know it. It's going to be the Graves Taric combo down the bottom.
It's something...
What the heck just happened?
I don't know. All right,
I think someone upstairs just dropped something very heavy.
Yep. If we can maybe talk to referees and quickly restart the game, I would really like to have my spectator slot. And there is the Shyvana pickup that we've been expecting from Moscow 5 as well. They really, really like to run the Shyvana jungle and just be completely in your face and bullies there. We have the Graves Taric lane again, and AAA first picked it last game. It is a lane that can very, very strongly shut you down.
But this is an interesting build from Moscow 5. They're going very much alternate champions all the way through, which is kind of what we expected from them. They're not sticking to the normal. In games at the moment, we're seeing probably around about a pool of 20 summoners or characters or whatever you want to call them being picked. Or champions, I guess, is probably the best word we could use. And they've gone with the Norm Aurelia now.
That's a very, very normal pick, but it just fits in so well with the rest of the team. I mean, everybody except for Cogmore is going to be super tanky on this team. I mean, even Ryze just builds tank items that happen to give him mana, and that's exactly what you want. So that's going to be a super tanky team that'll just keep the Cogmore safe, and with a Blood Boil on him, Cogmore is going to do so much damage.
Okay, so at the moment we're just waiting for the final pick from Dignitas. And will it be the Renekton up top there? I don't think so. Is it going to be Kennen in mid? Is it going to be Kennen up top?
Oh yeah, that's another question. I mean, Kennen can actually lane against Carthus. Sorry, not Carthus. What do we have? Rise.
Aurelia or Rise?
Rise, yeah, because he has that range. He can stay. He can kind of stay safe. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There is.
So we have effectively a double AP run from Dignitas, which is very much falling into what we had last night. I believe we had a double AP, and it was the very first one, but it was quite late in the day. You know, a lot of people do favour the bruisers up top, but Kennen certainly can counter anything they can throw at him.
Yep, and we're going to do a very quick remake because I'd really like to be in this game. I'd like to see what's going on here. But we have the lineups, and we have one of the standard picks actually from M5. We are going to see Gozu Peppers. Oh, actually, we're going to remake completely. All right. We are going to see Gozu Peppers' infamous Nunu support. He's a bully. He's up in the enemy's faces. We're not going to see anything that out of the ordinary from Dignitas, certainly, but I'm quite confident we're going to see a very, very strong game from them. I just spoke to Voyboy before this a little bit. He said he normally runs. He does run the only top lane now. So I think it's probably going to be. Was it the Swain that we said it's going to be top lane?
There was Swain and Kennen. So whether it's going to be who they're going to have against each other, and really it's who fits better. You'd have thought Swain probably in the mid because he's going to kind of need the blue buff.
Yes, he is going to need the blue buff. What side are they going to be on, though? Are they going to be purple or are they going to be...
Well, they're purple because they're right side, so yeah,
yes,
they're
going to be purple. So it would definitely make more sense to have him mid. The question is that enough of a concern to actually put him in possibly the worst lane? And now Lee Sin, like I said, I Will Dominate has been warming up on that. I saw him play that. Definitely a strong jungle, and unlike the Shyvana, he has the CC. Shyvana jungle is just going to be pure damage, but it's so much damage that people underestimate how strong that can be.
And it's the first major tournament that we've actually seen Shyvana in the jungle, so it's going to be good to see how he's going to interact, certainly with the bottom lane of Kog'Maw and Nunu, so really it's going to be following up the Ice Blast. And there's not a lot else to keep them whereas opposed to, obviously, Lee Sin can pop out. You could have Taric stunned straight away, Lee Sin pops straight in there, and obviously Graves is going to be on the high time.
Exactly, yes.
It's a definite different pick from both teams. Which we expected. Honestly, this is what we want to see. We don't want to see the same errors. There's 90 champions in the game at the moment. 91 very soon. 92 obviously probably next week. You guys keep bringing them out, and it actually keeps the players on their toes and keeps them.
It keeps the game interesting and fresh as well.
Well, and it changes the meta. Obviously, the game is completely different from what it was. That's for sure. And we have to, just to keep everyone aware, it is the Victor hot patch we are currently on. So not the very current one you're playing right now, which I think patched on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep.
It is obviously the one before that. So
let's just talk very, very quickly about the junglers that they left open, because Maokai was not banned, was he? He was just completely open.
Yeah, no, it was open. Yeah, there was the only ban they went for was obviously Rammus in the jungle.
And I think it was a
Skana, yeah.
Yeah. So Moscow 5 were just like, Shyvana is our style. We want to have that bully from the jungle, so we're just going to play it that way. And to be fair, with the Ice Blast on, that is a lot of CC there in bot lane already. They're not going to need that much CC from the jungler for the ganks to be successful. So I am super excited to see how this is going to play out. This is the game that we all really want to see.
It is, and the question is, how will Dignitas do against Moscow 5? And what sort of Dignitas will turn up? Will it be the Dignitas that went and stomped through IPL, or just one last call? Right. Or will it be the Dignitas we saw at New York that just flopped completely and caught a lot of people by surprise? I mean, it didn't catch Fnatic by surprise because they went, I don't know what the problem with this group is. We just walked through it 3-0.
We walked through the tournament 10-0, actually.
Yeah.
And I like that from Alex Ish. He is actually running the Triumphant Rise. That's a skin you can only get by winning a priced event. So, it's obviously free on the Tournament Realm client, but I'm pretty sure he's won enough priced events to actually get that skin as well.
And it really is the Bruce Lee sin. I don't care what you call it, it's plainly Bruce Lee sin.
I didn't say anything on the official record.
Right, okay, let's get underway anyway. So, what are we expecting to see from these guys? Well, a lot of ganks possibly from both teams down the bottom. I'm not too sure how it's going to work out. I mean, we've seen, obviously, Nunu in the last game actually was on the losing side. Nunu support down the bottom, but Cypher went run a pretty interesting strat. But let's give you a quick rundown just before in case you missed the picks and bans, or you've only just tuned in, for Moscow 5, they are going to be playing in the blue down the bottom corner, and it will be Alexic on Rise. He's going to be in the mid by the looks of it, and actually nobody's setting up really for a gank either. I'm just watching where Alex is going. Up down the bottom, it's going to be Gosu, Pepper, and Genja. That's going to be on, yes, eyes don't deceive you, that is Cogmore, who doesn't really get paid anymore. Played, even is the word I'm after, and he's going to be with Nunu as support. And in the jungle, it will be Shyvana. So it's something I don't believe I've seen in a proper tournament match. May have been the American qualifiers, I don't know. Certainly not the European qualifiers. I didn't see it in any games there, and I've not seen him at any tournaments since then. And Darian's going to be at the top on Aurelia. For Dignitas, it will be I will dominate, the new man on Lee Sin in the jungle. Skara's going to be looking like he's going to be in the mid, the way he's setting up at the moment, which is where we assume he'd be, so which means Voidboy is going to be the man on top on Kennen, and that is going to leave, obviously, of course. Why has he named himself? I'm a Cutie Pie has named himself Pocust X Cutie or something like that.
That's very cute.
Locust. He did say my name doesn't fit, so I'm guessing that's why his name didn't fit, because he's put that many X's in the damn name. It didn't fit. And I actually told them to, have you not been briefed on your Dignitas tag? It should be D and the name, as in Diapollo, who is obviously bringing us the StarCraft the moment. So here we are, we've gone underway, and immediately looking like I Will Dominate is going to start over on the Wraith. And absolutely no jungle invades.
Let me just point something out about Dominate here. He's starting his Lee Sin with a Doran's Blade. That is, I don't think that's the normal way to start Lee Sin jungle, but he is known for that, and that means his level 2 ganks are going to hurt that much more. That's just, it's a very, very strong start, but he's kind of going to have to.
Mid at the moment. You can see that Locust has come out. He's managed to get the stun down. Alex H, they mean the Never Move is going to go off. I'm not too sure if they got the damage to finish him off. They haven't. That's certainly going to make him think. And that's obviously put Locust on the move immediately down the bottom. They're going to react because they realise that I'm a Cutie Pie is on his own on Graves, and they're just punishing him. They're forcing him away from that bush, actually zoning him out a little bit, which means obviously Genja on Cogmore will probably level up to 2 first, but I don't think it's going to hurt them too much. He's still managing to get the CS in there.
Yes, absolutely. There was almost a roaming Taric. It was at least Taric trying to go for the level 1 gank, and I like that a lot. I mean, if you have a support with a reliable stun like that, why not try to use it at level 1 to get an early advantage? And it did get an advantage in that. Well, Alex Ish has he gone home already? Yeah, he must have gone home because he's full health already again. Bot lane Genja doing good damage here against Cutie Pie. Actually got him into an E, and Gosu Pepper landed his snowball as well. That's a lot of slow going down there in that bottom lane. And Cutie Pie is at half health.
So Shyvana is just about completing his path. Actually looking like he might try and go for a roaming gank onto Swain in the mid. So Skara's going to have Diamonds up behind him any second. Will he go straight for him? Didn't get the prison down. Has got the prison this time. Here comes Shyvana. Will try and pop the Never Move. Very nicely done. Will he ignite? Gets him. Yes, it will. And Diamonds manages to pick up the kill there. So first blood goes to Moscow 5. And after they're attempting to gank themselves, I was a little bit surprised they didn't actually quite wait for Lee Sin to come round, because he was on the Wraith just as they went for that gank in the middle. I guess it was a matter of timing with Taric there, but that has backfired. Meanwhile, now Shyvana's immediately gone straight up top. Doesn't have Ignite this time. There goes Darian onto Voidboy. Voidboy's got to surely be aware that Diamonds is around. Yes, he backed straight away from that one. And that will be a farming session for Darian down there on the tower. Whether he's going to be able to get all the last hits on, he'd missed a couple there already, I've seen. So Kennen actually keeping the pressure on top there.
But it was great play there from Darian going in against the strong minion wave, trying to bait that E out of the cannon so he wouldn't have the E anymore for the escape. And he kind of did it too. But Kennen saw Shyvana come up in the middle of his E, so he just turned around mid-E and said, you know what, I'm going to use the rest of the duration to just get away from you. Beautifully played there from Moscow 5. And I don't believe what I'm seeing, but I Will Dominate is going for a level 4 dragon.
Level 4 dragon. Graves is coming up to help out. Tarix is coming as well, so this is going to be a very early dragon. 4.5 minutes into this one. They will get it because, Moscow 5 have not reacted to this. They're not expecting it, and the lane actually had just backed away as well, so this is going to work out very nicely. It's going to put the gold advantage, which this early on is quite a big advantage when you pick up that, and it was just a 3-man pull on dragon. They're going to have, of course, timings down on that. Moscow 5, absolutely no idea here that has just happened, so their timings are going to be completely out, which actually may mean they're going to miss the second dragon as well. So they're going to have to really keep their eye on that one, get it warded up. Meanwhile, Kennen has also forced Aurelia back up top there, so Kennen's continuing to farm, so Voidboy doing a grand job. Let's have a quick look down the CS, 28 CS to 15, so already pulling 10 ahead. Obviously, that's the advantage of being away. Aurelia's also pushed on towards that tower, which means Darian's going to struggle to try and pick up some of the CS here. He's going to try his best, which is going to burn a couple of abilities. He did actually manage to farm up most of that. Having a look, there you go, the ping's just going down Moscow 5. Moscow 5 actually were going for an early one, and you can see Diamonds was there ready and gone, it's not there. What the heck? So now their timings, and now they've put a ward down. Actually, that ward's going to miss it because they've just put that on 5.5 minutes, so they're just not going to be able to pick that one up. So they've no idea what's happening at the moment.
Honestly, you don't expect a 4-minute 30-second dragon.
No.
He just built 2 Dawn's Blades and was like, you know what, I can tank this. I know exactly how much damage Dragon's going to do. This was super, super risky. If somebody had come and sneezed at least in, he would have dropped dead. But, you know, they knew exactly how much damage you could take, and they just knew that Moscow 5 wouldn't check because nobody expects a 4-minute 30-second dragon.
But it was the very good timing, the fact they knew the bottom lane had both gone back, so it was like, okay, you know, Lee Sin, you're in the area, let's go for it now. Shyvana's going to meet Aurelia at the moment, up in the top there, and they are making their way down. Skara looking very dead here on the turret. He's never going to be able to escape from that one, so that's kind of making up, saying, you know what, you're going to steal our dragon, we're going to gank Swain again. So Swain, the second death already. And I Will Dominate's coming in to support that. They need to be careful up the top. You can see Darian is working his way back up there. Yeah. Shyvana is actually going to stay around. Looking back down the bottom, we can see the bit of harassment going on towards Locust there. But Genja takes a tower hit for his problems. But
let me point this out. 45 on Kog'Maw versus 33 on Graves. That's quite an advantage. He's early in the game. And that is even though Graves has the healing support, which Genja doesn't have, because Pepper is playing so aggressive. Look at this. Any chance he gets, he just puts down a nice blast.
Well, a lot of that came from when Tarek went for the early gank early on. They immediately knew, and they could force the pressure onto him, which obviously meant Iem Kiev had to back away from that one. So I Will Dominate's just had a little bit of CS in the middle. Skara is going to, I would assume, fall behind in the CS. Let's have a quick look down to it. 32 to 38. That's not too bad considering he's been killed twice, but obviously one of those kills did go to Rise, which is immediately going to count against you. Shyvana coming back around again.
Look at that diamond procs. Is he ever in his own jungle? I don't even think he believes in doing his own jungle. He's been counter jungling the whole time, either ganking or counter jungling. And look at how quick Shyvana clears that Wraith camp. That's just great. Lee Sin trying for a gank bot lane, but nothing's going to happen there. Really, nope, and there's 2 wards, so they see him as well. There's a pink going down on Voidboy as well, who also walked into a ward. Perfect ward coverage here from Team Moscow 5. Shyvana did steal the enemy red, didn't she? That must have been the enemy red.
Yeah. She just went straight in and stole it. Voidboy was quite clever with his move, though. He pushed the lane enough to just be able to sneak down to the bottom there, but of course, like you said, that ward was in river, so they immediately spotted it. I Will Dominate's not had much luck getting out on the ganks yet, and that is really, like you say, down to the perfect ward placement they've had. I Will Dominate coming out there, trying to have a little poke on Alex, but he's not going to fall for that one. He's going to back away. Back down the bottom lane, they'd also push the lane up a little bit. I'm expecting them to probably both back. Yes, they will, so we're going to see what they come out by there. So despite those 2-0 obviously kills, that early dragon has kept the kill even. Looking at towards the top there, Voidboy getting a little poke on him. Won't worry too much about that. Should pick up all the CS there. Yes, he does. Manages to take it to the tower.
Oh, mid lane though, Alex is doing good damage against Skara, even though Skara was in his ultimate. He just went in for him. Yeah, he has enough health potions to sustain this, but that looked really good because a moment ago Skara was at full health. And yeah, you wouldn't expect it from Rise, but he just needs to build mana to be able to burst you down very quickly. And he's now going to get a blue buff donated from Shyvana, who obviously doesn't need it at all. Probably the jungler who needs blue buff least.
Yeah, indeed, and that's going to make Alex very strong in mid. He's got that Tirith goddess already halfway to the Catalyst, so he's going to be getting pretty strong very soon. Let's have a quick look back on the bottom as they sort of mingle with each other. And then double Dorans for Genja on Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw, this is the first outing of Kog'Maw we've actually seen. Berserker Greaves and double Dorans on Iem Kiev. So we'll see if he's going to try and take advantage of the slight build advantage he has at the moment. Obviously, those Berserker Greaves have been the only difference. Meanwhile, in the mid, I think Blue's just been given across the Skara. Yes, it has. So he's going to be able to farm up easily now. Really effectively, he can just pop his ulti if he needed to. He's got that blue buff. The mana will regenerate straight away. Look back down the bottom. Every time I see them get closer, it's like, oh, no, they're not going for it. Actually, when I've looked, they've not done any damage to each other. I don't understand. They're like really pressing on each other. but actually not doing a great deal of damage down the bottom. They're both pretty much transfixed on farming. We do have Shyvana coming down, but that ward placement is already there, so they're just going to back away from that.
Dominate coming in the river as well, but there's also a ward for Moscow 5. Both teams really perfect on their warding here. This is exactly what you need to see from a professional level team. And now is Shyvana going to have a little poke in into the enemy Lee Sin? No, he is actually going to just retreat and pick up what she left for him from his jungle. Because that counter jungling is really painful. And let me tell you...
Here we go. Kennan's actually just come back, so the dragon must be due. Yes. There is a ward there, so I'm not too sure how long that's been there. But dragon timing is definitely up. Kennan making his way down bottom. He's going to try and work his way, looking like down. Yeah, they know there's a ward there, so immediately that will have signalled the team. There you go. You see Aurelia already looking towards shifting down the bottom there. They're going to realise that dragon must be due. Yeah, there you go. Ryze is already moving. Shyvana's moving down. And actually, Aurelia is going to stick around. Aurelia doesn't have teleport. Now she's coming down river. Here we go. We're going to move straight towards the dragon. They're going to pull it out. They may even get it before M5 get in there. No, they're not, because Ryze sneaking up behind them. They actually hadn't come as a team for some reason. And Iem Kiev getting picked out there. Ghost Pepper tried to pop the ulti. Not going to happen this time. Obviously, Kennen was all over them. Diamonds is going to surely get caught out by this one as well. That has played very nicely in Dignitas' favour, mainly for the fact that Moscow 5 were not a complete team. Aurelia was a little late on reacting there. There's a couple of people still very low. Skara being one of them. Need to be very, very careful. Are they interested in the dragon? No, immediately going to pop in. Skara does get popped, but that's going to be immediately reply on Alex Hitch. And I think I Will Dominate may go down to that ignite as well. No, he just about survives. They didn't get the dragon though, so M5 is successfully defending it. But Dignitas, they were a little too split up. The fact that they'd already knew it was coming. Oh, Locust has just been completely caught out by Aurelia. I'm not too sure if he's going to get away from this one. Tries to stun him down. The ulti going across. He's actually bringing Voyboy into trouble. Dives onto the tower. Pops that heal. Now, if only he'd had the stun then, he could put him on the tower, but gets away from it. Very close stuff between these two teams. And despite the fact that, Moscow 5 completely missed that early dragon. Now they have the timing down. That dragon is still there, so I think we're going to have another fight straight back in a second.
Yeah, Cannon is he going top lane? No, he was going top lane, and then he changed his mind. Like, we need to contest that dragon. We can't just give it up to them. Aurelia still hanging around mid lane. Going to push that lane into the tower a little bit, and then probably going to go back for dragon as well. And at this moment, I really can't tell you who is the scarier team. M5 haven't really hit that point yet where they're just never going to die. And Dominate is going to face check into Diamond Brox right here. Diamond Brox dodging the Q from Voyboy, very well done. And there is the root down on Dominate, who has to use his ulti very, very early in the fight. And that's basically an ulti wasted right there. Diamond Prox is on the dragon already, and I'm not even sure if Dignitas are going to go for this. They're just going to leave it to Moscow 5, it looks like. Nope, there they are. They're now coming in range. Skara immediately getting locked down by Ryze. He's on Ryze, though. Ryze is falling. On the other hand, I Will Dominate has been dropped. Voyboy dropping his ultimate. And barely flashing out. He may be able to survive this right now. The rest of Dignitas out pulling back through the blue buff as well. So it was a 1-for-1 exchange there. But I think the dragon went to Moscow 5, didn't it?
It did. I'm pretty sure it did, judging by the gold as well. I'm absolutely certain. He did see Lee Sin try and get in there and try and get the smite on it. I don't think he managed it, though. I was trying desperately to look for that 190 gold tick on between them, but there was that much going on at the same time. I didn't want to pull my attention away from actually missing kills.
And actually, Moscow 5 are ahead by 600 gold again. They were behind before that fight, so I'm pretty sure the dragon went to them.
So we've already got Will of the Ancients on Kennen up the top there. He's got 73 CS compared to Aurelia, obviously 97. Aurelia has been up that top for a while, though. Obviously, Kennen pulled away a little bit too early, which obviously gave Aurelia another extra lane or two farm.
This is going to be a double voter build, isn't it? I mean, with
Skara.
Yeah, with Skara in the mix as well. He's definitely going to build Will of the Ancients as well. And the way that these aura items work is that they don't stack if two teammates have them. But if you and another teammate have them, then you're going to get the aura twice, basically. And that's going to be quite nice for the spellbump.
The big problem at the moment, though, Skara is really falling behind. He's around 15 CS behind. He's been ganked. He's died 3 times now. He's 0-3-1, so he's not been able to pick up the gold too much. That's what he's going to need, but he hasn't got the blue buff at the moment, so he's got to be very sparing with that ulti, because he really can burn through the mana when you don't have blue buff. Looking back down the bottom, I'm a cutie pie. I keep seeing Locust Pocus, so it is I'm a cutie pie, though, but having to back away. And at the moment, Dignitas are slowly but surely struggling in every single lane, I feel. Down the bottom is very even between the two. Genjo, of course, 104 CS. to Graves is 97, so very even between the two. Pretty much identical builds. They have got double Rigger's Lantern, though, on Moscow 5 at the moment, so possibly going for the old TSM strat or the Lone and Lion strat, as I called it before Gamescom. Oh, just getting caught out there again. There's a lot of damage going to go down towards Locust. He's going to have to back away from this one already. He's going to have to waste a lot of mana healing himself up there. Didn't obviously bother too much harass on Graves there, but Graves couldn't do a great deal about that. And he is going to have to back away already. No, I was going to say, surely not. He's only just come back. That would... That would leave Iem Kiev on his own for far too long. Aurelia's going to get a nice wave of farm. Kennen is actually pulling the golems at the top there, and Shyvana looking like he's going to try and gank down bottom.
Let me just point out quickly, there's an Oracles on Shyvana, and she killed 2 wards in River already, almost contested the enemy blue there too, while all that was happening in bottom lane, but I think the blue just went to... must have gone to... No, it didn't go to Skara, so who did pick up the blue? Did she actually steal it? She must have. Yeah, she must have stolen the enemy blue then there. I just saw her go in there, and then I had a look at bottom lane. So, yep, Alex Ish has the other blue. So, Shyvana, the counter jungling from Diamond Prox is just... there's no one else who counter jungles this aggressively, and he's really making it work for his team.
Really is, and at the moment you can see that Aurelia is actually going walkabout as well. She's got Shyvana with him. They're hoping to try and catch someone out in the reeds. He may well be Lee Sin. Lee Sin is just coming around behind them. I'm not too sure if he's aware. He's about to... They didn't put a ward down. If they'd have got a ward, they would have caught on him. Now Shyvana's responded. I don't think he's going to get out of that stun in time yet. He actually uses his ulti to escape as well. So again, having to use that defensive ulti rather than as an aggression. So He'll Dominate's really being countered quite well. And again, Gossip Pepper manages to get caught out this time. I don't think that ulti's going to surely have enough time to go off. He just managed to pop the heal. Locust getting caught out a little bit by that. I think he will escape in time. In fact, he might get a kill on Locust. Locust desperately heals himself. Ulti run him again. Just finishes him off there. And this time he may pay for it with his life. No, I Will Dominate missing the kick there. And again, well, it's really a case of on the back foot. Oh, Alex, he just flashed in there, managed to get the prison down. I Will Dominate pops his ulti. Not quite enough damage. Skara's come down to help, but I really don't think it's going to be enough. And I think M5 will back away from this one quite happily. Meanwhile, back in the middle, Shyvana's going, okay, a free lane. Thanks, I'll have free farm.
Bit of a problem in that fight was that Cutie Pie was so scared of the absolute zero that he ran out for almost the entire duration of it, and there was no damage output from him. Otherwise, that could have been an easy drop on either Genja or Gozu Pepper. But I would be scared of M5's Nunu as well, to be fair. I mean, that is a scary, scary Nunu. Top tower now going to go down to Irelia, who immediately went back. Let's have a quick look at the farm. 137 versus 104. So top lane going very, very heavily in Moscow 5's favor as well. And it looks like they were definitely not overhyped. Lee, wouldn't you say that's a rather strong team we're watching right now?
It is looking like they are actually meeting the hype. And Dignitas are really going to have to pull together when it comes to team phase. At the moment, the lane phase, it's been very close. So it's not like they've been completely dominated, but they're definitely ebbing away. And after such a great early dragon, it's just been every lane slowly being lost. There's nothing major. But again, Locust being targeted by Genja there. He's actually ignoring the AD carry, which a lot of people actually tend to go for the AD carry and ignore the support. This time, he tends to be targeting Locust, feeling he is definitely going to be the weak point. At the moment, though, Iem Kiev taking a couple of ulti hits there, and Genja definitely seems to have this bottom lane pretty much in control, which is really, the fact that he's got no sustain from Nunu. He's obviously got the attack speed buff.
Shyvana. Yeah, are they going to spot her? There's no ward in the river anymore, but she is turning around. And yes, Skara and Dominate are there as well. They may try to go in, but a beautiful E is going to keep them at enough distance. I believe they cannot close this gap. No. Looked very scary there for a second for M5. Let me just point out that even though Graves is a little bit behind, he did build a BF sword, whereas Kog'Maw went for the early Lantern, like you said, the Lol and Lion strat, and that means less damage in teamfights. Maybe if teamfight right now, Darwin has to dodge the never move, and looks like, yeah, Dragon is back up. So Moscow 5 are defending this Dragon. They don't want Dignitas to just take it, and they may be able to actually take it even with Dignitas around. Yes, certainly, if they poke them down like this, look at Skara getting dropped across the cliff. The exact same thing happened to Wicked in a scrim the other day. M5 are really good at sniping over that cliff, and look how quickly the Dragon went down. There was no time at all. And right now, if I was in Team Dignitas, I'd be starting to feel quite a bit scared, because Moscow 5 just seem to have so much, discipline to fight together as a team. They pick a target, and that target just drops instantly. Are they going for? They can't be going for. They might
be. They have got a couple of wriggles in there now. They're not going to. But what I was going to say was the ward going down there. What I was about to say before all that happened was the fact that you mentioned Shyvana obviously taking the wards down. There was absolutely zero wards. Yep. There was one in the tri-bush actually behind their tower on bottom lane. That's how worried they were of ganks now coming from Shyvana. They've got nothing at all downriver at all. And if you look at the map, there is one single ward which has just been put down on red buff. But that is not going to help at that moment, and the M5 really are in a very dominant position. The score only says it's 6-4, and it is only 1-0 in turrets, but you can see that 4K gold advantage is actually, in the team comp, seems to be the big thing at the moment. They've been very, very worried about Diamonds. He's been really popping out that jungle at the perfect times and getting those ganks. And frankly, we always talk about they are going for Baron. They are going for Baron. 20-minute Baron coming out here. Now, of course, Dignitas have got no vision of this. We just talked about the wards. Absolutely no sight whatsoever of this happening. Almost just like they took the Dragon early on in 4.5 minutes in. They have no idea that the Baron is being taken now. Just about coming up to have a look at it. And Locust, you are too late. And he's going to get caught straight out there. Left straight on by Diamonds. That is going to be a very dead Locust. This may even be GG right here. They are pushing straight on. Mid turret is definitely going to go down. Possible inner turret already. And wow, Moscow 5 have just turned it on. Absolutely, when it counts. Bottom turret was also very low, don't forget. So they could do the typical, like TSM, take out those 3 outer turrets very, very quickly. They're going to back away from this one. They're going to buy. I think they could have pushed on a bit more there.
Well, to be fair, 2,000 gold on Kog'Maw, 1,300 at Shyvana. You kind of want to go and buy.
Yeah, so I'm loaded. Let me go buy. There we go.
And that's not a bad idea at all. He finished his seal. Still no real damage items on Kog'Maw, but with his W, the seal is enough. That W will do a percentage damage, of course, based on the max health of the enemy you're attacking. But that's quite scary right there. Dignitas, what can they do right now, Lee? What's the game plan for them? They really need to wait for that Baron to run out, and then they need to get in on a perfect team fight and somehow take Kog'Maw out of this. But the problem is Kog'Maw isn't the only damage source. That Ryze does insane amounts of damage. Irelia has a Trinity Force build already, which makes Freak very, very happy, and which also means that she does quite some damage. And the Absolute Zero, even though Nunu is not building any AP, is still a huge threat just due to the movement slope. So no one is going to be able to get to Kog'Maw.
An immediate reaction here, that's what I was just talking about. They're going to go straight up mid. They've taken that inner turret out, possibly could even push on for the inhibitor. Dignitas are going to have to respond to this, but like I mentioned, Rod of Ages has only just been completed by Swain. There is a real lack of damage there when you look at it compared to Ryze. Ryze has almost completed his build already. All he needs is a Banshee Spell to go with that, and he's happy. At the moment, though, Dignitas really are struggling. They need to land that Kennen ulti. That's going to be a big, important part. They need to get the stuns across the entire team, but it's not really viable with the fact that what they've got on there. They can easily get on and interrupt it. Alex is going to be looking for that Void Boy to come dashing in there. They might catch it. Oh, will dominate through the wall there. Yes, they will. Managing to just bounce enough off him. Alex Hitch finishes him off, and that is surely going to trigger M5 to push forward on this tower. Possible inhibitor coming right here. They're going to try and keep poking away on towards that tower, and Felix Aurelia has gone in. Void Boy's been the target this time around. Nunu actually tries to pop Absolute Zero. Wouldn't quite manage to pull it off. Will manage to surely get Void Boy. Instead, Locust will be the kill. And there goes Grace as well. Oh, and Scara. Oh, dear me. It's gone so badly wrong. But really, that's really very well executed by Moscow 5 there. All happened from Alex just catching I Will Dominate out through that wall, just like he caught Scara a moment ago.
Across the cliff, yes.
Yeah, across the cliff, an identical play. That's going to be an inhibitor, and really, massively strong position now. 10k ahead in gold, way ahead in kills, and really it is starting to show Moscow 5 are dominating and really living up to the hype that we gave them yesterday.
Yeah, they are exactly, they look like the team to beat in this group right now. We'll still have to see them fight against AAA, but honestly, I predict that they're going to take AAA down as well. They are really, really strong, and what I like to see most about them, and I've seen this in scrims time and time again, is they catch someone over the cliff, they somehow get vision, and instantly, like one man, the entire team turns on that guy and he's just dead. There's just nothing you can do. And at this point, I mean, even if Kennen went in with his ultimate, he has a Will of the Ancients and he's starting to build a Rylai's right now, so he does not have a Sonya's that would keep him alive. He would go in, he would get focused, and he'd be dead in no time at all.
This is the classic stage of losing map control. They're trying their best to ward out the jungle a little bit to get a view. Locust might get caught out there. Actually managed to get the stun on towards Shyvana. Don't think they have enough yet. Scara's really still not got the damage there to actually burn him down. Immediately needs to retreat. But Dignitas having to move as a pack through the jungle, trying to ward it out. Those wards immediately being taken down as well by Moscow 5. So Moscow 5 have full control. And when you're starting to move as a pack, as a 5, desperately trying to get experience. I mean, you look at Void Boy's only level 13 at the moment compared to, say, where's Aurelia? Where are you hiding down in the middle there? Of course, you're not with the team. 15, so immediately the top lane's got 2 levels on him, mid-bottom lane's got 2 levels on him as well, so really the level difference is starting to tell, and Moscow 5 are surely just going to push that advantage, drive it home, take this bottom turret. this is really, I think, the last big fight for Dignitas. If they're going to probably back away from this one. I'm not too sure if they're going to hold steady on this tower. They're going to get poked out. See Genja just constantly popping that ulti down from range. There he goes, pumping away.
Yeah.
He uses long range on towards those. That turret, the turret already gone. I think Dignitas are probably going to give this one up on the next wave. Is it a tank wave? It's not a tank wave, so maybe not. Maybe the next one. What the heck?
What are you doing? Oh, man.
Down. Moscow 5 there. Now they're starting to actually
Man awards.
get in cocky position, I believe. Is
a little bit, yes. Darien has a Warmox as well, so that really is just not going to fall anymore at all. The team of Moscow 5 just so very, very tanky right now. They can go in, they can probably even engage under this turret because there's just not enough damage. Graves does some damage, that's it. That's the only damage that Dignitas have at the moment. That's really scary to the enemy team. And Genja needs to be a little bit careful because if he is focused, they'll have enough damage to take him out. But the rest of the team is just going to keep everyone away from Genja or slow them or punish them for even trying to get close. And Moscow 5 is here making a statement, basically saying, you know what, the entire European server is scared of us. This is why. This is an event on our home turf, so to speak, and we want to show the world that we can completely bring this one home. And you know what? If I was a Russian viewer right now, I'd be pretty happy. I'd probably be quite proud of these guys.
Yeah, well, Moscow 5 have been at the event for the last week, as far as we know. We've been told they've been obviously boot camping, as is known as the FBS trade, and they're going to go straight in there. Shirley's referee was burned a moment ago, but that's going to be the turret going down. It doesn't matter. Voivoy's now been caught out. Oh, they've all been completely caught in the same position. I will dominate. Pop. Locust pops. Oh my word! Dignitas absolutely destroyed there, and this is going to almost certainly be the finish here. Can it be the ace? Can it be a turret?
Not quite. Not quite.
Graves just about getting away, but it doesn't matter.
Yes.
That was 4 for 0. The Nexus turrets will go down, and Moscow 5 looking very, very strong in their first game against Dignitas, the IPL champions. Obviously, they didn't, and well, I guess you could say the last stand, the American champions, I guess you say, because they just won the recent American tournament, certainly beating CLG in there. So, wow. Big turnout from Moscow 5. We wasn't too sure. It was a pretty much an out there pick, was what we kind of expected, and this is what happens. You make strange picks. People not quite aware of what happened. They were very, very worried about Shyvana. The gank in the middle nearly worked for them at the start, Dignitas, but Skara was targeted throughout there and completely taken out of it. So once Swain's gone, your main AP carry's gone. Voyboy couldn't really keep up with Aurelia at the top there, had to come down early on, and it just snowballed from there. But very, very well played from Moscow 5 there.